Hey everybody. Um oh my god, let me restart that. Hey everybody. Um Welcome into Sports Live in the 215. I'm your host Connor Okuda to discuss um the Phillies split with the Mets in London. It was it was a really it's really disheartening to obviously come out with a split, but um hey, a split is it's better than being swept. So um, obviously, let's with that being said, let's dive into it. Um, First game, Suarez goes 5 2/3, and then um, Kirkering goes an inning and a third. Dominguez Dominguez gets an inning, and then Ruiz shuts it down in the ninth inning. Harper and Castellanos both homer. Um, and yeah, they played solid defense, and that's pretty much the recipe for a W. I mean, um, Suarez, for just coming off that injury, he was about as advertised. I know his ERA went up from, I want to say, 1.50 to 1.81, but he was absolutely masterful. Um, there there were some moments where he wasn't necessarily his sharpest, but overall he deserves a lot of credit for how well he pitched after just coming off an injury. And yeah, he was great. And the offense certainly helped him out, and on the defensive side, no big mistakes, and we were able to come out on top of the win. So game one obviously went to or game one. Yeah, game one. The Phillies ended up getting the win, and yeah. So it was a really good way to start this series in London, and that uh that Harper celebration with the soccer slide in West Ham's stadium was absolutely electric. I mean, you want to grow the game, like let, let's have one of the faces of the league do something absolutely electric, and then pull off a ridiculous, like a really cool celebration. And I just think that's that's what makes Bryce Harper. Like he shows up when the lights are brightest, and yeah, he was as advertised in this series. He had 4 hits, um, a double including a double in the second game, and the aforementioned home run. He was absolutely as advertised, and everything you need from your superstar in on like a big international stage. Fox and ESPN covered both the games, so yeah, or Fox covered the first game, ESPN covered the second game. So yeah, like two big networks on a big stage, and Bryce definitely came through. Came yeah, Bryce. Oh my gosh, he 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 definitely showed up and showed out in a big way. And I mean, the our pitching was absolutely tremendous. Game one, and then game two, it was looking like more of the same. I mean, uh, Taiwan Walker 5 2/3, 5 2/3 after only 78 pitches. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't agree with the the decision by Topper to kind of to take him out, but look at it this way, he's been struggling all year. Let him kind of let I let him kind of feel good about himself and take him out when he's feeling good. And then the actually let me check who pitched game two after Walker, because I know it was Hoffman, and then I know it was Hoffman and then Alvarado in the eighth and ninth. Let me just um okay, so it went Walker, who went the first 5 2/3, and then Gregory Soto, who didn't record an out, and then Strom went one inning, and then Hoffman went in an inning and a third, and then Alvarado Alvarado really he just didn't have it in game two. And I think obviously I'm not too worried about it, because sometimes that happens with relievers. Like, sometimes they just won't have it, and um I think Sunday was just kind of that day for Jose, and he'll be back at it. I think he'll be fine. I actually was talking with my brother on the car ride on the car ride back home from the pub at St. George, where we watched the game in Brigantine, New Jersey, and he was or I mentioned to him how I said how Alvarado was was due for a bad outing, and I don't think that was the right turn of phrase. I just think that he didn't he just had one of those days where what could have gone wrong did, and unfortunately it kind of unraveled. I know I I know like Jose, the next time he'll be put in a position to close the game out, he'll shut the door, because he's one of the best relievers in the game for a reason. And I heard people say like we need to we we need to get it. We need to get a new closer, and I just don't. I I don't see the validity in that. Like I get it. People's kind of instant reactions and emotions get the best of them, but it was only his second blown save of the year. So for people to say like we need a new closer or that like this guy stinks, it just I don't feel it's very warranted. Um, Give me 1 second. Alvarado is a great player, and like all great players, I just think he had a rough day at the office. Now, for like I'm not intending to give Jose a pass. He did not pitch well on Sunday, and I'm sure he knows that, and I'm sure his next outing will be better. Now, with that being said, let me get to Gregory Soto. Why in the world? And you loyal listeners of the podcast know I'm a big Rob Thompson guy. And like just the confidence he has in all his players, regardless, starting pitcher, reliever, position player, um, whether it's a starter or a guy off the bench. Like I just love the way he like he kind of he treats his players, and like his players his players respond to his kind of like even keeled calm demeanor. Like I know there's a section of this fan base that wants their manager to like once their manager head coach to like scream and yell and be throwing stuff at throwing throwing stuff at the wall like he's Bobby Knight at freaking Indiana or something, but that's just not Rob's style. But anyway, let me get to Gregory Soto after that little tangent. I what was I legitimately don't know what Rob was trying to do by putting in Gregory Soto after Taiwan um after Taiwan put in a really good outing. Like what why wouldn't you go to like Hoffman or Strom in that situation? Because those two guys are your two best kind of firemen, or like guys that can kind of squirm you out of like guys that can kind of get you out of like really tough jams. So why didn't Rob kind of go to Hoffman or Strom in that instance? I mean, I guess like I guess he thought the matchups favored Soto, but aside from this little like 2.5 week stretch where Soto's been he's been locked down. He just, other than this little stretch that he's been on, he has not been he's not been good. And for Rob Thompson to put him in a spot where to put him in a spot where you need him to get like a big out. Just he he just did not rise to that challenge, and unfortunately for the Phillies, it gave the Mets some momentum, and it 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 may it let me get my thoughts together here. It kind of it gave the Mets not just a chance, but it gave them hope, saying, "Hey, maybe we can win this game." So I just think that was a major gaffe by top by Topper right there, and I still think this is a good team. I still think they'll respond. There are too many professionals in that dugout and in that clubhouse, and even like in the front office to kind of let them slip up. I I heard from I was talking to my brother at the bar, and he was like, I can see that being kind of a loss in momentum for the Phillies, and I while I see where he's coming from, I definitely see it as I definitely don't see it that way. I definitely think I definitely think all these guys on that team will respond, especially going from London and then to Fenway, which is one of the most historical ballparks in the major leagues. So you, you want to talk about the lights being bright? I know the Red Sox aren't as great as they um, as they once were, but Fenway always carries a lot of historical significance. So we'll uh, we'll see how they respond. I definitely do feel like they will respond. Um, and yeah, I will talk to you guys either tomorrow or sometime later this week to probably talk some Flyers hockey. Um, and we'll mainly discuss Matvey Michkov and when he'll come over, along with like a smattering of other Flyers topics. All right, so be on the lookout for that, and go Phils.